Okie doke.
There we go.
All right, so everybody can see the screen. Is that accurate? Is it big? Is it big enough? Because I'm working on a really small screen here, and I want to make sure everyone can see everything that they need to see.
If you minimize the slide deck thing on the left, it gives you a little bit more landscape too.
Or
Yeah.
you could present it, and that'll take up the whole screen.
Ooh, let's do that.
Top
Let's
right
do
there.
that. Let's find the button.
Top
Upper
right.
right.
Upper. There it is, real big. So yeah, I don't like to present stuff. It works out well for me that way. All right, so everybody, hi. Welcome to MVP Office Hours. Today is September 4th, 2020. I'm Joy Shutters-Helbing, and online we have Squire Kirshner and Dale Ziegler, and our Twitter handles are on the slide. But you can also reach out to us at MVP Office Hours on Twitter and in the Success community. Just a quick note, this is a recorded session, recorded call, recorded video. And so if you don't want to be recorded or can't be recorded, you should probably say goodbye now. And then you can catch the recording later on our YouTube channel. On the right side of the screen, we have our events listed, our community events listed, not just ours, but ours globally, I guess, with Salesforce and the Salesforce community. There's a link for the all events by Salesforce, and then there's a customer success event calendar also. Trailheads, events, and webinars calendar, both Salesforce and community-led, link there also. And then upcoming Dreamin' events, which are community-led. It looks like Surfvoice got postponed to 2021. Northeast Dreamin' has moved to virtual later this month. Oaktown Dreamin' got moved to virtual later this month also. Banff Dreamin' is set in November still. They still plugging ahead. Squire, you're muted. And then Your Dreamin' in Amsterdam is set for January, and I would just be very cautious about looking up everything and the status of everything as you go. And then all 2020 Salesforce events are now virtual, along with all sorts of additional content that Salesforce has made available. Our community groups are available in person and virtual. You can join the Trailblazer group or sign up for the meeting invites, and there's a QuipDoc for virtual meetups also. Dale, tell me something. These links in the presentation, they're not live in the YouTube channel, so they have to kind of retype them out, don't they?
That, or we PDF and share the deck, which includes links.
Okay. So next slide. I guess I'm driving. Look at that. All right. It's been a day. It's been a day. Let me tell you. Like, first day of school was yesterday. So we also have other office hours, right? We've got the US MVP office hours, the first and third Friday, and then EMEA is the last Thursday of the month, and then Portuguese is the last Thursday of the month. I haven't heard for EMEA in a little bit, but Carlos in the Portuguese MVP office hours would love to talk to you. You don't have to speak Portuguese to participate. You just need to be open to listening to the translation also if it's required. So welcome to MVP office hours, right? Did I miss anything? We're doing good. All right. Rules and regulations, all that good stuff. We do like for everyone to participate, share your experience and your input, recommendations and references. But please mute yourself if you aren't currently speaking, because I don't know about you, but I've got a dog and 2 kids and a husband who are running around the house who will interrupt us if I'm not muted. If you need to ask questions, use the chat function and raise your hand. Let's see, does everyone know how to use that? If you don't, raise your hand. No, I'm kidding. If you don't, you can speak up, but there's a chat function, and you go to participants and raise your hand with, I think I'm looking at it and I can't even tell you how to do it exactly. in the chat function. Announce yourself, introduce yourself, let us know who you are, what we're doing. Use chat to post any web links or resources that you may have that you're able to contribute, and then you can share your screen. Just be aware that if you share your screen, it is being recorded. So try to keep us out of production, please, and try to keep us away from your company's data, please. We don't want to expose you or your company's data to a public recording. All right. Also, you can always register at our bit.ly link, MVPOHUS, and see us. The recordings will be posted on the community, on Twitter, and on YouTube. And then our favorite hashtags are Problem Solve Together, Community Learner, and MVPOH. All right. Do we have any MVPs on the call? Any? Hi. we have a couple. I see we've got Jacob and Stu and Dale and Squire and me, I guess, and that's about it. But as Dale likes to tell us, we're all MVPs because we're all trying to do our best and skill up. So here we are. All right. Moving along. Who's got first question?
The first question that came in email from Todd, and by the way, I just want to call out here looking at the participant list. I think Kansas City has about 1/3 of the market share here. So woo.
I like it. I like it.
So Todd's question was, he's unable to find favorites anywhere in the Salesforce mobile app. Can we get some guidance on how to get the favorites tab to show up in the mobile app? Users are able to mark favorites in the app. And Todd, if you want to unmute.
Or find their favorites, is that right?
Todd, you want to give us a little bit more detail on what you're up against?
Well, we rolled out the new mobile app, or it kind of rolled out itself, apparently. The solo admin gig gets a little overwhelming at times. The third-party integrator, we had rolled that out, and I got a report last week through support, through my support group, that said, hey, we can't find the favorites button, and they're looking for it on the bottom in those tabs. You know, there's usually 4 choices at the bottom. Well, I did some reading and research for 2 to 3 hours and trying to figure out how to get things back. I can't even find the favorite options anywhere in our configuration. I don't know if something got deleted or it's just hidden.
I found it. So it's crazy, right? So I clicked on the profile picture and your favorites are there.
I'm going there on my phone now.
I don't know how to show you better because it's not showing up.
I'm gonna admit I uninstalled it from my phone, and then I can't screen share. There's nothing to screen share, but.
Let me give that a try, Joy.
Because I swore up and down it was on there too, and I was like, "What the heck?" I'll go to a different org because I thought, you know, the org that I use versus like the other orgs that I have on my phone also. Does that help?
I think that's the only thing I didn't tap on was my profile picture.
Touchdown.
Thank you, Joy.
You're welcome.
I will let her know that Wednesday when I'm back in the office.
Or just I don't know, maybe a quick text and be like, hey, tap on your profile picture.
I'll offer too, with the conversion to the new app, there's lots of new stuff coming through with every release. So if you're just launching to your team and trying to get people comfortable with it, I'd make sure you spend a couple hours, minutes reading those release notes. You might find some new surprises.
And I usually pick those items out and send them off to my support person also, because she's the one that gets the calls. So
Sure.
thank you very much.
Sweet, 1 for
Made
1.
my week.
All right.
Well, we're walking out on a success. I'd say we call it a weekend early. Thanks, everybody.
Hi. No, I'm kidding. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, we've got lots. I think I saw Christy pop first, but we've got a pretty good list going so far.
Go for it, Christy.
So,
okay. Thank you, if you can hear me. So we have Einstein Activity Capture, and of course we've got the, if it's from at ourcompanyname.com, from ourcompanyname.com, it shouldn't be captured. However, we also have some of the company names as a contact record because of other things we're doing or using it and we don't want to do the lookup field or doing something else. And then it was capturing some high head honcho emails. Is that normal? Or is there something I could do? Because I'm like, oh crap, his email was in on the contact side, even though it was blocked when you take off all of the various back company things, and now his emails were showing.
His emails meaning like they're attached to the contact because of activity capture?
Yes, and then the account of because the contact was tied to that account.
So I know there's a lot of like craziness with how activity capture, even if it's not the primary email, if they're copied or connected, sometimes it's pulling those things in. I was just reading an article about that. I thought I was going to recommend what you just said, which is you got the blocker in place. Any chance that they've been there and they slipped through before you made that setting, or it's all new stuff?
No, the guy's been there since at least November. So I'm not sure the exact date, but the contact record, I don't think had been there because it was some rep who just added him, some COO as a contact, and then it pulled it all in. So we just went out and deleted the contacts, but at the same time, I thought that's kind of a weird thing that if it's blocking that @ domain and then it's still pulling it in.
Because I think it has to do with the like the CCs, not the primary. I'm guessing at it. Like I said, I was just skimming through it. Hopefully someone's got more than me just guessing at it.
Or could it be so? And Christy, I know the long, painful email domain legacy of the company with which you speak, because it's gone through many identities over the years. Is yours configured up to look for a specific character for character email domain, whereas the emails may be going to a different?
We have them all.
You have them all in there. So you got YRC Freight, YRCW, Yellow Freight,
New Pen,
YRC,
Redaway,
New Pen,
yes, all of
the
them.
things.
Roadway,
Okay.
yes.
Ooh, okay. That was going to be my only thought, was if it was just specifically coded to one domain and perhaps the user is receiving or sending from an aliased domain. But all right, I'm going to go on mute again.
No, that's okay. I'm wondering if the contact overrides any user stuff on the back end that you've set up for the users to be internal, especially when things like
HR.
review.
items.
Yeah, reviews. Yeah, you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious, did you test to make sure that even it's working as you expected just from yourself? Like if you have that person send you an email and you've got activity capture, will it pull it in? Like I'm wondering if someone found a backdoor that isn't what you're looking at.
No, I'll do that with a different person, not that particular person that we've then deleted, because I don't want to alert him and freak him out right now.
Sure.
But yes, I will go off and test it and get back to you guys in 2 weeks and see what I can come up with. So
I will say that, and this isn't necessarily the best way to go about it. We just blocked all, in the past, we blocked all emails from the CEO.
Oh, specifically from that one address.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, instead of just the domain. Well, okay. Well, I'd have to get with him then, just because he does talk to customers as well. So
Well, that's the rub, right? Is
Yeah.
like if you have to choose between protecting the sensitive information and sharing the other stuff, I kind of have to pick and choose, I guess.
okay. After I test it, then I'll know which way to ask him. Thank you so
And
much.
At least as a last resort, right?
Exactly. Thanks.
All right. Who do we have? We have Jen next.
Jen's up next. Yep.
Oh, we've got two Jens.
Hi,
One
everyone.
Of the Jens. Hello,
Can
Jen.
you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my question is, we have a custom object that's part of a managed package. So we're using Oracle quotes for CPQ. And so we have that Oracle quote object that's in a lookup relationship with the opportunity. So the problem is that we have a very customized sharing model in our company. and we use Teams, account Teams and everything. But what we want is if a person has access to an account, then they'd be able to see the opportunity and the quote, that custom quote object. But because the Oracle object is not a master detail with opportunity, we have to either programmatically do it, which we're still testing that out, or we didn't want to do a sharing rule because that would open it up to everyone. The easiest solution would actually be to make it a master detail. Has anybody ever done that with a custom object from a managed package?
So sorry. So just to paraphrase a little bit. So converting a lookup to a master detail on a managed package custom object. Has anybody done that? So I guess the first question I'd ask is, do you even have access to that field and object if it is a managed package to try to play with it? It might be at a hard stop right there.
We can't convert it.
You can.
We
or
can't.
cannot?
We tried it. We can't convert it. We tried adding the master detail, another relationship field for master detail. It won't let us do it because it's a managed package.
Yeah.
Well, so hold on. Is it because it's a managed package or because you already have data in the child object? Because
No.
once you
It's a
have at
managed
least
package.
It's because
It
it's a
is.
managed package.
Okay.
And the developers probably locked it down so you can't change the fields that are there. What I've done before is created my own mirror custom object, and then using automation tried to copy data from that object to my own object, but it's messy anytime that you recreate data into your own objects, because unless you know exactly what that managed package is doing behind the scenes with its triggers and its classes, you'll miss something, and you'll end up with bad data.
Yeah, this object is huge for us.
Yeah. We had to talk to the developer. So in our instance, we went back to the developer of that managed package and had to ask for a change request so that they could add another relationship field so that we could do what we needed to have done.
Okay.
That was my-
yeah,
that was my
Oracle's not
next-
very easy to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there the end goal other than the master detail is just to control the sharing on it?
Yeah. So how we have it is opportunities and this object, the quote object, they're private unless you have access to the account. You have read write on the account, then you can see opportunities and you can see this quote. We've managed to do it with opportunities. We can't do it on the quote.
Because
So I've had to either open up the quote, so even if they can see the quote, but they can't see the opportunity, but then there's pricing information on the quote, which we really don't want. If it's not your account or you don't have access to this account, you shouldn't be seeing pricing information. But right now we've had to do that because of this limitation that we have.
Sure. You may, even though it's a managed package, still have access to the sharing tables. You may be able to do, as he shudders saying it, you may be able to do programmatic sharing of the court records if you have access to the opportunity records.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do now, is to do it that way.
Yeah, you might have more success than fighting uphill against the developer to change the relationship. But now you've got a totally different tech debt item. I wish I had a better option.
Okay, thanks.
You, Jake, what do you think? I can see you cooking away on it. Any ideas there?
I'm in the same boat as you, Square. I'm thinking Apex sharing is probably, sorry about my bird, is probably the most beneficial and realistic option at this point. Trying to get a developer to change a managed package is pretty hard.
Mhm.
So the Apex sharing is probably gonna be your best option to do that. You can try doing some like manual sharing or things like that, but that's just gonna be a lot of overhead that you probably don't want to manage.
Yeah.
Now you say that, Jake.
I mean, you could do a flow too, but that's gonna get a little. Because with sharing, it does so many things behind the scenes. Flow has a hard time and it just kind of stalls on it. Sometimes when you do the sharing, if it's just simple one-off sharing at a time, it can handle it. But if you're doing like any type of bulk uploading like that, you're gonna want to do Apex sharing
Yeah,
automatically.
yeah. Managing sharing through Flow, it sounds like something I would rather have a root canal on. I would do Apex sharing rules if you're going to manage a sharing table programmatically. I would go to the development side, even though I'm not a developer. I know that madness.
Yeah, I've been in there before, and you just won't pull your head out. Apex sharing's a lot easier for the developer to easily write that up with the criteria that you want.
Yeah.
I think you're
And maybe-
discounting those of us who enjoy root canals.
I think, I mean, another option could be is you could do like a Lightning web component where you emulate the data on that page for them, because you said you want to restrict some of the visibility to some of the other data on that quote, correct?
No, so they need to be able to edit the quote. If they can
Okay.
edit the opportunity, they can edit the quote. So that's what we're going with is Apex, but we're not even sure if Oracle will allow us to even manipulate that. But right now, that's where we're going. We're definitely going with Apex because there's a lot of triggers already in that object. So we'll just,
Yeah, keep it all.
it's easier for us to manage if it's all, yeah.
Silly question. Did you happen to just ask them how they manage private sharing on opportunity quotes since it's their package? Maybe they have a solution for that specifically.
No, actually, we haven't asked them. We're having a little bit of issues with their support. I mean, or we're just super spoiled with Salesforce. I don't know. It could be both, but
All right.
it is very painful to get support from them. So
Sorry. Well, keep us
Yeah.
informed,
Thank
especially
you.
what your success is, because we'd like to hear about it.
All right. Let's see. Ernesto, we skipped right over you. So sorry.
We got, let's see, Brandon, Marty, Ernesto, Bruno are the sequence.
Yeah. So,
Brandon,
Yeah.
you want to go next?
Sure. Hello. Sorry, I forgot my thing said Brianna. It's like, oh yeah, that's also my name. I should change that. So this is not why I signed up initially, but having a super weird thing today where Chrome is just uninterested in loading Salesforce. Can I share my screen?
Sure. Let me stop sharing and then you can take it away.
Chrome's on a 3-day weekend. That might be part of the problem.
I think it is. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, I'm actually trying to do stuff today. Come on.
Now, what's going to be great is you're going to share and it's going to light up immediately.
I know it's going to work now.
It's going to be the end of your day. Yeah.
I love when that happens to my users. I mean, I don't. I know it's annoying for them, but it's kind of fun for me. Okay, this is what was happening with my so I usually log into my production. Oh, am I sharing the right thing or just my?
Yep, we see your Chrome.
Okay. I usually log into production in Chrome and Sandbox and Firefox just to keep my head kind of straight. But the same, I tried also with our Sandbox and the same thing is happening.
I mean, I'm going to say probably just throw it right out since it's Chrome. Have you cleared your cache, especially if you're in Lightning?
I did not try that. I will try that next. Yeah, so
Are
it
you-
just like popped up and then just went away.
Are you in Lightning?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I did try restarting Chrome and I tried restarting my computer, but I did not clear my cache.
Yeah, Lightning. Salesforce thought it would be a great idea to put everything in cache for Lightning to help it run faster, then not run faster, then, slow to a grinding halt.
Do you only are you only able to log into that particular domain, or can you go to like test.com test that Salesforce to try logging in there.
Also, since you're talking about cache, I had to do this morning, which is remind my coworker to go into setup, go to session settings, and while you're having a problem, not for all your production users, but disable the enable secure and persistent browser caching setting while you're testing that particular bug. Once you've got that problem resolved, then re-enable it, please, for your users.
Okay.
But that's in the session settings part of setup. I
Okay.
have that problem all the time where I change something, but it didn't change, and that's the problem.
Okay. Yeah, and so then I tried incognito and I was able to log in, but then this was happening. It was just like, you don't actually, nope. So anyways, my actual, okay, thank you for that. I will try clearing my cache and hope that that does it, or it self-resolves by itself over the weekend.
Just really quick, do you check trust just to make sure it's not your instance?
I didn't because I was able to log in Firefox.
Okay, cool. All right, just checking.
Yeah. So my actual question is, if there is anyone who is a regex master out there, I'm having some validation issues with the regex that someone else actually originally wrote for me. So we have this annoying thing where the ERP that Salesforce integrates with can only have 35 characters per line and the address, and it can be no more than 2 lines. So after much, sorry. Okay. So after much going back and forth on that, we found a regex that does that. But now I'm trying to also make sure that people cannot use punctuation in the address, because apparently the US Postal System doesn't, and so they're trying to standardize to that.
Even commas? Like for a pre-suite or anything like that?
I guess not. I am told that they write things in all capital letters and punctuation, or at least that is how our order entry team determined it and likes to write things.
So the USPS website has like an address checker sort of thing where it's like you plug in the address the way us common folks would type the address, and then it says, this is the way we want it. So yeah, it's all caps and there's no punctuation.
And so I tried, now I have to find the window that I actually did open the flow in.
Which, side question, because there are a lot of Google integrations, is Google's address forming the same as USPS? Like, do they follow the same nomenclature and everything?
No.
No, because why would they?
No,
okay.
And we actually didn't, well, I guess we are using Google, but we had a whole bunch of issues too, because we need everything to be with the ISO code, and Google does not use the ISO code, and you cannot choose. So that was very unfortunate. Yeah, so no thanks to Google there. Okay, here it is. So this is the existing regex. So this is, I took the regex that we have on the validation rule and then like opposited it for flow, because the validations are opposite in flow. I understand that's not a real word, but so I tried to just add a little like not and then all the symbols before, and it just did not seem to want to accept that. And unless, I guess, anyone is like really a regex master, I don't have to waste people's time looking at this, because I know you could do this forever. It can get very complicated, but I thought I'd ask just in case.
So are you trying to get rid of you're just trying to get rid of the punctuation, correct?
I'm trying to validate that their input does not have any punctuation. Primarily like dashes, commas, periods. I don't know what other punctuation people would be trying to put in addresses, but.
Apostrophe perhaps. every time I use regex, I've got to go back and like tutorial myself on it.
Because even regex has the reverse, right? It's checking for
Right.
negative, right? So you have to like,
Which I think is what's happening here, which is the part that someone else wrote in for us, so that it's looking for initially not a line break, that the beginning starts with characters. But
the way we handled punctuation for our, I don't know if it's going to help you here, but for our data entry was rather than do a regex, just to check the length to see if anything anywhere in the string had a comma or had a period, or that way you don't have to fight with the regex gibberish. You're just checking for a specific character in a string. Now that can be distasteful because they get a little long, but if you're just looking for a comma or a period or a hyphen, it might be okay to do it that way.
okay, and you said, sorry, is it the length operator for that?
Not length, contains, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I can try.
I've never actually tried it, but is the substitute function a Salesforce thing like it is in Excel? Where you can say, if you see a character, like if you see a comma, replace it with quote, quote, which is essentially like wipe it out. Is that a thing?
Yeah, there's the replace function. That's what I was getting at. Like, just take whatever they have and just replace the value. But that would have to be done after the input screen here and on a different, like on an assignment.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Which would be fine too. I mean, if that's what works, I can add another step, but I'll have to look up if they have any similar functions for Salesforce.
Yeah.
Substitute does work.
Yeah, there's I actually, Christy, you and I are probably looking at the same thing, but I literally just found like something in the success community about removing punctuation from a field. And so substitute might be a path
You're
to
a
look
better
at.
Googler than I tried to do that.
I didn't Google. I did Practical Salesforce Development Without Code by Philip Weinmeister. Weinmeister.
Oh, maybe.
I did strip punctuation from field Salesforce, so
You're faster.
I was looking to prevent it, but the strip will work as well. So, and that may be easy.
so the prevention is actually like what you're going to happen is your users are going to run into this roadblock, and then they've got to like plug it in. Whereas if you have an automation that goes through and like strips it out for them and then just puts it back, it's going to be a better user experience. You can do whatever you want to do if you want to like force feed and train them, but then you're going to start getting some really crappy data because they're going to be like, I don't want to do this. So they just put in like the street name and it changes, but try that out and see how it goes. And the other thing is you could potentially have like your mailing address filled in by this sort of substitution fielding. And so you're still capturing the original field, but then using like another set of address fields that are all formula based.
And the other cool thing is that if you need all that to be in capitalization, you can also use the upper function to make it all the letters all capped.
Yep.
So substitute and upper.
I would also offer, if you're already in a flow, you should probably have it like store what they type and then say, we're about to turn this address into this address. You good with that? Because if they don't know what happened, that could also be a problem. So just give them an input screen to show what's about to happen to their data. Then they can back up and fix it if they think that the change is not appropriate. So,
and if
you're already in a screen flow.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
And don't dismiss the input text there. You can basically give them information, so you can actually put not input display text. So you can actually say, do X, Y, and Z. Please don't do this, do that. So you can actually kind of guide them a little bit more ahead of time too.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Sounds like you've got some like stepping stones to move forward. Excellent. All right.
Thanks,
so
everyone.
let's see. We got
Marty's
Marty.
up next.
Marty up next, right?
Yep.
Hi, this is Marty. So this is a opinion question. I'm working on the new program management module, and it has a auto naming process builder. So my question is, if I could show my screen, I could show you this. The basic question is, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share this. So this is the process builder that I just dumped into here. And my question is, if you were me and not a super expert logic, how would you go about reading this? Is there like a trick to it is the question. I'm looking for the magic wand.
I need a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Can you make it bigger?
Yeah, let's see. I could make this bigger. This is a.
I think the first thing I would potentially do is dump it into like a word processor document so that you could take advantage of tabs of where your parentheses are and everything.
Yeah, I dumped it into here because the formatting was better. I have it in a Word document too. I
like Notepad++ for some of this. It kind of helps highlight and color code some of the stuff. I don't know if anyone else has used that.
I'll try that.
Yep.
And
yeah,
then
that's a good one, Joy.
I would start where it says F. I would start every line with an F. So when you see an F, that means start a new line here, because in my mind, it's like saying a new logical sentence. Like,
yes.
This means that something is asking me a question here. The if is a question, and then everything inside the if is going to be answering that question or making some logical sense to that question. You know, the things in, let's see, if there are things inside of the, am I saying it right? Parentheses. And the thing right before that is the command on it. So if it's like some of these are saying text and then a field, so that is just saying give me the text version of this field. If it's saying left, and then it's just saying give me the left characters of that text of that field. So you can make yourself a set of key instructions at the bottom of this, just saying when I see this, what it's telling me is these commands.
Got it. Okay, good advice.
I would offer when I have one of my like new admins trying to pull apart Apex or even just a lengthy statement like this, one of the other things I find is really helpful is put it in Word and make it 2 columns, or Excel, but I don't like Excel, and then find logical breaks in the code and then write it out in words right next to it. So this line says find the date and make sure the month is true, and then you kind of have like a translation of this row means this in real person speak, and you can almost build a paragraph of what it's all trying to do for you.
Okay, good advice. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Well, so what I would also do is to counter Squire's Excel comment, I would actually take some sample data, throw it in Excel, and then take your logical breaks, because the downside of the Salesforce formula editor is that you have no way of testing it until you save the formula field, go out, look at data, see what it does, whatever. Excel syntax is so close to Salesforce's that it's a more often than not good barometer to make sure that you, especially with nested ifs, to make sure that you're writing it correctly and that everything's going in the right place. Another thing that I would suggest just from an alignment standpoint is there are a number of Chrome extensions out there that will give you the more coded looking formula writing capabilities. Like one I'm looking at right here is Better Salesforce Formula Editor, but it will it'll help you stack your nested ifs. It'll help you start to clump those things together so that you don't have to leave the platform. But if you need to test as you go, try and get some data, do it in Excel, and let that formula engine be your proof of concept. And then once you have it, I mean, obviously you're gonna have to change formula fields for cell references or whatever, but once you know that the logic is working, then you can just carry it back in because you know you've proven your formula already.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Now, a question for you,
Sure.
Marty, before you leave.
Sure.
So you're saying this is out of the program management module, I'm assuming that that is Salesforce.org nonprofit offering. I know I'm saying this as not a question, but it is sort of a question. The program management module, my assumption is that this is a helper for nonprofits to look at all the services that you provide as a nonprofit, organize them, and track them to the consumers of those services to try and collect data and see how those services are working, like how everything is going for your nonprofit. Is that, am I saying it right?
Correct. Yeah, you are correct. It's a new module. It does not have to be implemented in a nonprofit Salesforce organization, just FYI. It's brand new, and they auto name 2 of the objects of the records, and the instructions in the document are, here's the process builder that auto names it. If you want to change it, you can. And so this is the easy one.
Oh.
So yes, you are, all of the above is correct. And when I went to go to change it, just coincided with this call, and I'm like, oh great.
So it's just a process builder that it says, here, you can use this to set up your auto names.
Right.
But it doesn't really tell you exactly what it's using for the input. So you're trying to figure out, okay, well, how do I figure out what fields to use to do that auto naming?
Right. No, it does tell you what fields here, and I'm a consultant, and the client I'm working with has decided they want to make a change. So
Okay.
I'm trying to do it as efficiently as I can. So that, hence the question. So I can see, I know what it does what it does correctly, but now they want to change the fields. So I'm just trying to make sure that I don't mess something up.
Okay. I'm gonna stop talking now because I'll get myself into trouble. I was about to say something that I'm like, no, if someone heard that later, then that might not be good. I'll just stop talking.
Me too. Thank you.
2 words: safe harbor. That's all I gotta say. And then
Safe
you're clear. Safe harbor. I said with all due respect, which means I can say whatever I want.
Which means you can be disrespectful. Is that right?
Something
Okay. Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
Ernesto had one early in the chat.
Yes, and if we scroll up, opportunity default list, Ernesto, do you want to share your screen? Marty, we'll need you to drop your screen.
Yeah, I have to go back and get my.
No, I will not share my screen.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Take that.
So there.
It's very simple. I think I'm looking for just a yes or no.
Okay.
And if I get a yes or no, then I'll ask another question that is related, which is also a yes or no. So there is the list. If I go to the opportunity app or object, or whatever you want to call as a user, then I have this list called My Opportunities, right? In that one, I do not want to show the amount field, or I want to modify it to show another field because I have 2 different teams and they work in different ways. And this is kind of taking over all my questions that I've been asking here. It's all the same process. I'm almost done. But so can I change that list instead of creating a new list and then sharing it with everyone in that team so that they will use the new one? But I want to change the default from Salesforce.
I don't think there's anything locking that down. I think, yeah.
Now, are
No, it
those
is.
2 different teams using different record types?
Yes.
Okay. The My Opportunities out of the box, I think you can change the fields. Have you tried that?
No, because when I click on it, it asks me to create a new list.
When you try to
Interesting.
edit it, or you only have access to create new?
Say it again?
So in the gear, do you only have access to create new?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's only two options. So one it's
Huh.
new, the other one I don't remember.
So is that tied back to the object system lists? Or is that actually the
Yes.
my opportunities list?
So I had a call with Salesforce yesterday, and they say that basically that's how it is. So I needed to create a new list.
Can you change the sharing on that list or no?
Oh, everybody has it.
Oh, well,
That's kind of
right.
like a default that automatically does it for them. You know,
Huh.
I can create a new one easily. But yeah, when basically, yeah, the only two options that gives you is new and clone.
I know
Are
I
you an admin?
recently.
Do I have one?
Are you an
So-
admin?
Yes.
Because I have that problem when I look at the recently viewed list. I
Yeah, I
don't
was gonna
have
say
the
that.
same problem on the quote unquote my opportunities on that specific list view. I can, select fields to display. I can rename it. I can do sharing. I can do all sorts of things with it. And so I'm a little bit perplexed because I'm not able to recreate.
Oh
the
yeah,
problem.
actually, you're right. Maybe I was looking at the account or something else.
Still be the same though.
Right. And so my recommendation would be to create a new well, make sure you have access to update and change public list views, because that's definitely a
Yes.
permission.
Okay. Got it.
Manage list views, right? Because you might be able to create new ones and you might think you can do it, but maybe not. So just make sure you have that access.
Okay.
Because every user, I think, can create their own list views. It's whether or not they can share them broadly.
Right. They can clone and they can do new, but they can't
Right.
necessarily change the public list views. And that's different than just create list views.
Right.
Manage public list views, I think is what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'll look at it. Thank you.
Okay.
And can I ask another question? So we use the field currency. So I created a bunch of fields on the opportunity, and let's concentrate on the currency field and it's an amount. So when I create a report, when I export it to Excel or CSV, that automatically adds a column with the currency, euros or USD, US dollars, and then the amount. So there's two columns. Is there a way to not have that currency column to be created at all? Exactly, yes. I know you're shaking your head. Okay, because that's very annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying.
But keep in mind that it's only annoying because you know exactly what the currency is supposed to be. But if you didn't, you wouldn't know if it was euros or lira or American dollars or CSD or whatever. So you must have multi-currency turned on, huh?
No, I see why. Yeah, yes, it is. Right.
You could also look at the flattened data, look at the converted currency column, and that would be all the same currency with the amount.
Right, and that's even worse.
Dollar amount though, don't you? You still get the character column.
It changes depends on which location you're in.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, yes, because I have a team in Europe and a team in the United States, and the VP of sales, basically the one that actually looks at the numbers, is in the United States, and then he kind of manipulates the data and then kind of asks me, hey, can you just get rid of that currency field because I don't need it, and because now we have 5 extra fields, then we have 5 extra columns. You know where I'm going. The report is getting longer and longer. Okay, well,
And,
I think
there are 2 ways to export. I wonder if it changes based on if you export the summary or export details.
I tried both.
You tried both?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I talked to Salesforce about it too, and they said, no, you can't.
I know when you export to Excel, it gives you that extra column. It just does that.
Okay. I think I will ask my programmers and see what they can do.
I mean,
Well, then you're just going to add more columns. There's not a lot they can do except for write you a custom report, which also gives me details. I'll offer, we did a thing where we inserted a reportable currency column that wasn't actually currency, just a decimal, but that's just more columns. It's harder to report. No one knows which one to pick. It might just be a painful outcome that you have to deal with.
Yep. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
The only
I'll
other
say-
option would be recreate those fields as formula fields and just use
Right.
those in your report.
I was thinking about that.
That's
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
You okay, Joy?
But that would make it more
No.
complicated for me to maintain. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
those-
How many
those-
how many
those-
fields do you have in your object, Joy?
It's
500, 600?
No. I have a terrible object that I don't want to talk about. I didn't build it. I just have to
Deal with
rummage
that.
through it. Yeah. um, all right.
Okay.
So,
Thanks.
great. Thanks, Ernesto. Those are good questions. Bruno, are you still with us?
I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Happy Friday, everybody, especially before a long weekend. Yay.
Yay.
This too is actually just an opinion, probably question. Strategy at the first. So I've got products, price books. And I'd like to do, this is non-CPQ, but tiered pricing, right? With revenue scheduling as well. So looking at the number of something and having separate pricing for it. So I've got 3 options and I'm not sure what's the best. So here's more of just give me your opinion. What's the best approach? One, I could just have sort of one product per tier, right? So it says right on it, you know, X product for 1 to 100 or 101 to 500, that kind of thing. Second one is price books, having separate price books, which I'm not that excited about because if you ever have to change price books, you lose all your products. And the other option is workflows and maybe flow on the opportunity product to kind of sort of take it and then make adjustments to pricing. I'm sure somebody has seen this out there, right? So any opinions on that? Trying blanks, love
So
it.
I'm of the opinion that the price books are there for a very specific reason, and this is it. And as painful as it is, it's the right answer. But I don't know if, but I'm not saying that's the right answer. That's just where my head goes to.
Okay.
By having lots of products with lots of like unit breakdowns, you're now managing effectively duplicate products just because you want to have 1 to 100. Oh wait, we need one that's 1 to 50. Oh wait, we need one that's 60 to 70. And now you've set yourself up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
The
Okay, so the products is a bad idea. Price books is better in your opinion. Sort of pick the number of whatever it is, and then you go from there.
I only say that because from my perspective, it's always best to use the tools that were built to accomplish that goal first.
Yep.
But I don't want to diminish that you're right. That is painful but necessary. I'm going to shut up for a second.
Quick question. So what's the desired process? Like you select a product and you set a quantity, and then based upon the quantity, you set up a price?
Exactly. So it'll be 1 to 100 of widgets, this price, 100 to 1,000, this price.
You could do one single price book with just the product with whatever the default price is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could, if you want to, you could build another object, basically create another table, and then use a flow to basically look at what the product is, whatever the quantity is, and go look at that table to see what the corresponding value is to get the price, and then you can insert that price back on the other end there when they hit save. So you want to get it in real time, you'd get it after the fact, but it's an option.
So you're saying workflows. This is what I was saying by the option 3 with workflows, and just use another table to sort of generate your values as opposed to formulas.
Flow, not workflow, but flow, like visual, not visual flow, but the actual flow.
The flow, which it gets kicked in by a workflow though. I guess that's why I say process builders.
Well, you can trigger it now to flow by itself. So
can you? Oh, I didn't know that's there yet. Ooh, fantastic.
Workflow is definitely its own thing. Don't confuse them because you'll turn Jake red-faced.
Performance. Yes. Okay. Good option.
There's another option though, and I'm not going to say that I actually like this option, but there is another option.
Yep.
And that is if you don't want to go CPQ because that's pretty heavy and expensive for just solving one problem, there are AppExchange packages that are CPQ-like functionality and would do this sort of thing.
Yep.
Would do that sort of bucketing of products and putting them in tiers and doing that sort of quotes and packages when you're creating your opportunities. So look in the AppExchange and do some research on that and see if that's something that would solve your problem. Again, I'm not sure that would be my first recommendation, but it is an option.
Yeah.
So there's many ways to do it in Salesforce, and so take a look at everything.
Okay. No, that's true. All right, great. Thanks everyone. Appreciate it. Have a nice weekend.
All right. That was some good questions today. And we are just about 3 minutes shy of the top of the hour. And so does anyone else have any questions?
I love it when people ask for opinions because I'm full of them.
You're full of what? Oh, you're right. No,
Oh.
I'm teasing, Stuart. I'm just teasing.
I've got one. I don't get to ask questions very often.
Uh-huh.
So we converted to enhanced notes and files, which is great. We used Doug's tool to convert all our attachments to files. And our emails are still creating attachments and not files, but I thought that was supposed to go away on conversion. What don't I know?
So you converted to the enhanced stuff.
Yep.
You there was a setting that said all new attachments now turn to files.
Yeah, but that setting is actually about emails going out and coming in from like Salesforce to Case,
Yeah.
or email to Case, but not like through the Outlook connector.
Yeah. You're right. I've seen that.
Okay. I mean, I'm okay with that answer because that tells me that we didn't just miss a step. It's just there's a gap that we need to work through. But I've got an admin who monthly has to do this. You keep using Doug's tool to convert everything over, and it just seems ridiculous.
Doesn't seem
Everything
right.
in the paperwork says once you do this, it won't create attachments more. It'll create files for you in Lightning. And I think it might just be the connector that's causing us a gap, but I can't find anything.
No, you're right. There was that, and then there's third-party managed packages that create content that aren't really considered attachments. That'll cause problems too.
Okay.
I've seen that at a client site as well, and I can't remember what we did.
Okay. Probably put in a better tool than Outlook, the Outlook connector. I keep seeing that Lightning connector and probably Activity Capture are the way to fix it, even though, or sorry, not Lightning Sync is the way to fix it, but I don't know if it is.
Isn't Lightning, not Outlook Capture, isn't that being retired?
The original Salesforce for Outlook is, yes, it's
Okay.
not supported anymore. So we have a timeline, but we just can't figure out if that's even the real problem. Blank stares are okay. That's how I've been feeling for the last couple of weeks too. So.
That's all I've got. All right, I think we're stumped on that one, Square.
That's all right.
And I
So
think we
saved it
need
for
to,
last.
yeah, we need to wrap things up. Dale, are you okay over there?
I'm
All
good.
right.
What happened to Dale?
He was real like still, and I was like, did he freeze? What happened?
I went for a 6-mile run before this call, took a shower. I was like all amped and everything. And then like over the course of this, like you get that crash afterwards. And I'm like, oh man, it's 2 o'clock on a 3-day weekend. Hi, I'm alive. I swear.
Yeah.
Love it.
So everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for bringing your questions. If something comes up midweek, make sure you hit us up on Twitter at MVPOH or on the Success Community or email and check out the recording if you forgot what we talked about today. Because I don't even know what day it is. It's Friday, right? It's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. High fives all around.
All right. High fives. Woohoo. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Have a great weekend.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.